Welcome back to More Context, the podcast, episode 13. Yes, episode 13. It is New Year's Eve, December 31st, obviously, because that's New Year's Eve. Wow, what a week. So I put out episode 12 on Christmas Day, and I said that I wasn't quite gonna reveal to Instagram yet the pregnancy, but I gave it 2 days. I feel like the people that knew were getting really antsy, and I was just getting excited, and I was in Mexico. I was in Puerto Vallarta. So I had been in swimsuits all week, and it was just it was getting annoying, honestly, to continue being in a swimsuit all week and not really giving like my authentic quote unquote content that I normally would give in my Instagram stories or whatever. So being in a swimsuit all week was getting annoying, having to like not really be able to face the camera. And then if I was facing the camera, I was like super close on it. I was just ready to just get back to being my full self. Like, and you know me, like I like to show you what I like to show you, and I don't like to feel like I'm being deceivious or like secretive or whatever, because my core value, I say it all the time. My core values are honesty and authenticity. And I just felt like I couldn't be my honest and authentic self, without you knowing at this point. And so, granted, even though it is on Instagram, podcast still knows more details. Podcast still kind of heard it first. And podcast will continue to know more details, hence the name being More Context, and podcast will continue to hear it from me first. And it's not like, even though I don't publicize certain things on the internet, it is not necessarily a secret. So like on the podcast, how I told you it's a boy, and obviously on YouTube, how you know it's a boy. I haven't openly said that it was a boy on Instagram, but in DMs and conversations and such, I don't mind telling people that, it's a boy or whatever. It's not a secret. And I'm really excited and happy that it's a boy. So, it's give and take, right? So I can still be myself without openly having to be like, hey, and by the way, Instagram, it's a boy. But the response that I received, for one, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. The response that I received was one that I expected, which was surprised. I knew people were gonna be really surprised. Like, I knew that. But the amount of love that I got was, people don't hate me. Like, people just don't hate me. I don't give people a reason to hate me. So I didn't expect anything other than love. But the amount of love that I received was just like I felt that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I really felt it. Like, I received it. I feel honestly, that shit felt great. Like, to know that people are like, so many people are like, yo, I don't even know you. Like, I literally only just follow you on Instagram, and I feel like I'm excited as if I'm pregnant, or as if like you're a family member or whatever. People that I have no idea who they are. Some of them I don't even follow back, are like, let me know when you have a registry so I can send you something from your registry. Somebody sent me a book already, and that's supposed to be coming January 5th. Like, it's just so wild. Like, the amount of love that I received has been fully received and embraced. And like, I love, like, my heart is like so full. Like, that shit feels amazing. Like, I'm so grateful to have the kind of community on the internet that like one could wish for. Like, I couldn't wish for a better internet community, honestly. Like, I couldn't wish for, like, the type of people that, you know, gravitate towards me, because some people be having trolls and shit, and like I don't have none. I don't have any trolls, and trolls are a part of the internet like shit. So I'm fortunate that, like, you know, I didn't get any negativity whatsoever, and I honestly didn't expect to. Of course, it's weird from like people that like you, and it's like, and like people that you used to talk to, and it's especially because I don't like show my personal life on my Instagram, and obviously I talk more about my personal life here on the podcast or whatever, and so like people that, you know, you used to talk to, or like, you know, that like you or whatever, they send you well wishes, or they like, a couple people have liked the pictures of, like, have liked the pregnancy pictures but have not said anything, and I think that's like super funny. And it be guys that I know, they feel like I'm quote unquote the one that got away, and I'd be like, yo, nigga, it's been 4 years, it's been 3 years, whatever. Like it's so funny. But yeah, I like, you know, I'm still on cloud nine. I like, just from, you know, me finally being able to tell everybody, and everybody receiving it the way they have received it. Like, I'm definitely on cloud nine from that. I am happy to be back from, well, I'm not even gonna say that, and I'm sorry, y'all, but you can't see me if you are listening audibly, but I am about to paint my nails, because I've been wanting to paint my nails for a really long time. My nails were long, and they were the longest that I had grown them. I had grown them out naturally, and they were really long, and they had a beautiful shape. But you know, once one break, then it's a wrap. So I just been kind of like letting them linger, and now I'm at the point where I have to like I had to make them all even, and I haven't painted my nails in a while, and it's Christmas Eve. I mean, it's New Year's Eve. Why not? I got another reason why I really want to paint my nails, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I can't really say that I'm happy to be back from my vacation, but when you're on vacation, you are just like not in the real world, right? And so I guess I'm happy to be back in the real world, and especially now that everybody knows that I'm expecting, I can get back to like really just showing you my behind the scenes of everyday life, like I do on my stories, like I have been or whatever. And I can now openly talk about, you know, my pregnancy and, you know, my journey so far and stuff like that, because that's really what this episode is going to be about, like just my experience so far, and like how I've been dealing with it physically, emotionally, whatever. But when I was on vacation, so like I said, I was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which is the west side or the Pacific side of Mexico. So it was beautiful, the ocean, like my view, and I did vlog, so I do have to put that video together, but I mean, like one day at a time, one thing at a time, right? So let's just talk about it briefly. I ain't gonna go fully into detail, but so I spent 5 days in Puerto Vallarta. I got there Monday the 21st, and I stayed until Sunday the 27th. I lied. I got there Tuesday the 22nd, and I stayed there until Sunday the 27th. And it was beautiful. The weather was gorgeous. Couldn't have asked for better weather. The food, honestly, the food really surprised me, because when I was home, I was looking at the menu, the menus and stuff like that, and I was trying to see, you know, I was trying to get a feel for like what I was really going to be eating. I was trying to see like what was local, if I had to go anywhere local, because of how I eat. So if you don't know, my diet restrictions are, well, my diet more so is plant-based aligned, with the exception of eggs and seafood. So I basically don't eat any meat or dairy. But I do eat eggs, and I do eat seafood, obviously. But I more so follow along a vegan diet. So I mainly eat vegan food, but you know, I eat my eggs, I eat seafood or whatever. And so I was like shook, because I was like, man, I ain't really gonna be like, my first day there, actually, when I had went to the beach, I was looking at like the beach menu, because you got different menus at like your bar and your pool and room service and stuff like that. Forgive me, because I also didn't mention where I stayed. I stayed at the Westin Puerto Vallarta, and that was like perfect. I stayed there for 5 days. 5 nights, 6 days. What is it? 4 nights. Fuck it. From Tuesday to Sunday. You do the math or whatever. I left Sunday afternoon or whatever, and my whole trip cost me $857 for 5 days, yo. It was perfect, and because I am a Marriott Bonvoy member, they send you like these emails. They send you like this. Well, every year they gift you something, and it's either like I remember last year I could choose, and this year it just was like they chose for me or whatever. But it's like you get free bonus nights, like 5 free nights where I could like stay, somewhere for free 5 times throughout the. Okay, I'm explaining that weird. Basically, I get 5 free stays, so I could, use like my free night. Basically, 5 free nights or whatever, right? You don't have to use them consecutively or whatever, but like if I wanted to stay somewhere, for a night or whatever out of town, then I would be able to use that free night or whatever. Or you could choose like 5 free upgrades, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, this year I had the 5 free upgrades, in which that's what I always do. And so this year, because obviously I didn't travel as much, I just went ahead and stayed 5 nights in Puerto Vallarta, and then I used my upgrade to have my 5 free upgraded nights. So which means that like I paid for a basic hotel room, but then I got it upgraded to a suite for free or whatever. And so I stayed in a junior suite, and it was gorgeous. It was like, it wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, it was perfect. The balcony was my favorite part, honestly, because the balcony was really big. The view was amazing. If I ever go again, which I would go again, honestly, I would request to stay in the same room that I stayed in, like the same room number and everything, just based on like the view. Everything was just picture perfect. Like I literally, my room was like my room was probably like north facing, which means I had like panoramic views, low key. So I literally could see the sunrise on the east and then the sunset on the west. Now, like I said, Puerto Vallarta is like the west side of Mexico, the Pacific side. So the ocean is the Pacific Ocean. Same as Cabo, if you've ever been to Cabo. Cabo has the Pacific Ocean, whereas Cancun and Tulum and all that is the Caribbean side. So you would be in the Caribbean Ocean or whatever. So that was like, if I had to have one complaint, that would be my one complaint, that like, because it is on the Pacific side, the water was really cold. It was extremely cold. And then the temperatures did drop at night. It wasn't like unbearably cold at night, but the temperatures definitely dropped at night. Because we tried so I went by myself. Oh wait, I was telling you about the food. So I thought I wasn't going to be able to eat anything, too much of anything, and I thought I was going to be eating the same thing all week, but the food actually pleasantly surprised me. I had, for the first time, I had a poke bowl. I be seeing poke bowls, but I don't be knowing what to order. They be like, I love sushi, but they just be like a little bit too much for me, like when I be seeing them. So I be like, I ain't gonna get that. But I mean, shit, I was in Mexico and I wanted something that wasn't too heavy, and so I got a vegetarian poke bowl, and that shit was really good, really, really good. I had like a shrimp burger, which was essentially just grilled shrimp on a bun or whatever. But the grilled shrimp out there was really good too. What else did I eat? I had some ceviche, which I realized after I started eating it that I probably shouldn't be eating it because, being pregnant, you're not supposed to eat raw fish. I forgot all about that, but yeah, I did have ceviche and it was really good. And I know not to get it again because, obviously I'm not really supposed to be eating it. And I ate pretty well out there. And like most things, like you had to charge to your room. Oh, and I had free breakfast, right? So that helped with the cost a lot. So I booked a AAA rate, which was like the discounted, like, I'm gonna tell y'all all about the finesse later on, but I booked it with the AAA rate for that discount or whatever. And with that AAA rate, I got free breakfast included or whatever. And so the free breakfast, sometimes that free breakfast be light, like it'd be like continental, and it just be like pastries and bullshit like that. But the free breakfast that I had was actually a breakfast buffet, and that breakfast buffet was pretty good. Like they had an omelet station, they had like a little waffle maker. Obviously they were making it for you, and they had like the glass up and stuff like that. And it being buffet, everything was nothing was self-serve, put it that way. Like you had to tell the person what you wanted or whatever. And that helped me on the cost of food a lot because the breakfast was so big that I ate a lot of breakfast. And then, being out in the sun or whatever, like your appetite isn't that heavy when you're out in the sun. So a lot of days I ate breakfast and then didn't even get around. I ate breakfast and lunch. Like I would eat breakfast. I would take my little buffet breakfast up to my room because the sun was shining on my balcony. So I would take my buffet breakfast up to my room, even though you wasn't allowed, but they still let me do it. They gave me like some lip like the first 2 days, and then finally they was like, oh yeah, let me go get your to-go container and your to-go cup. So I would eat like breakfast, the free breakfast, and then I would eat lunch from the beach or whatever, because I just went to the beach every day, and I charged everything to my room, right? When I got my bill, when I checked out for 5 days, guess how much my food bill was? Because that was the only thing that I charged to my room was food. I ain't buy nothing else. That bill was $123 for 5 days. Absolutely, please and motherfucking thank you. But yeah, I said it last time that I was out there by myself. I had went out there by myself from Tuesday to Friday, and then Corey had met me out there Friday or whatever, and that I really appreciate that. Like I'm happy that he had met me out there on Christmas, because even though neither him nor I really care about Christmas, we spent Christmas together or whatever. And to my surprise, I got engaged. I would show you, but like, oh fuck it. I just told you that I was painting my nails, and if you listen audibly, you can't see it anyway. But if you watching, I got engaged. So that was crazy. I was not expecting that at all, but it was perfect because him knowing me the way he did it, like I said, it was perfect. So he proposed to me on Christmas night. So he met me there. I think he got there like 4 something. And then he came out to the beach or whatever, and we chilled on the beach. He told me about how he had already pretty much told his family, and like what their response was and how they were excited and stuff like that. And so we hung out on the beach, then we like took a little walk on the beach or whatever, and then it was like the sun was setting, so we went back to the room or whatever. And so we were chilling on the room, on the balcony, and like I said, my balcony was perfect. Like everything on my balcony was just perfect. So at nighttime, so I told you, in the morning I can see the sunset. In the evening, in the morning I could see the sunrise. In the evening I could see the sunset, like the full sunset and the full sunrise. So the sun actually rose behind like mountains. That shit was fucking gorgeous. And then the sun set over the ocean. Amazing. So we were chilling on the balcony together and literally laying underneath of the moon and the stars. And it wasn't quite a full moon. It wasn't a full moon until Monday. Monday was the full moon. But it was a full moon and it was like stars or whatever, right? So we were laying out there just talking and, you know, just chilling or whatever. And so I was getting really sleepy. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting really sleepy. Because if I didn't say it before, but my balcony was really big. It had 2 lounge chairs. And it had 2 lounge chairs and a jacuzzi. We did not get in the jacuzzi because I low-key don't be trusting like room jacuzzis, because it's like housekeepers, they be having to do enough when they be coming in to clean the room. One thing they ain't finna clean is no motherfucking jacuzzi. And I wasn't about to clean it myself, so I ain't getting no jacuzzi. But so we were laying on the lounge chairs and I was like, I'm getting really sleepy. I was like, you know what, let me go get in the shower before I get too sleepy and I'm not gonna want to get in the shower. And you know, I was all in the ocean and shit. So I was like, I'm gonna go get in the shower. But before I got in the shower, I had ordered a blanket because, like I said, the temperature drops at night. And so, but we both still wanted to like be on a balcony some more. We just needed a little weather reinforcement. So I had called downstairs to order a blanket or whatever. And I was like, listen out for the blanket. Listen out for the door for the blanket while I'm in the shower or whatever. And so I had went and I had taken the shower and I was in the shower for a good minute because even though I ain't feel like it, that shower was feeling too good. So I was in the shower or whatever, and I was in the shower for a really long time. I was washing my hair, conditioning my hair, and then I got out the shower and took even longer, right? So now I'm out the shower. I'm putting the leave-in conditioner in my hair. I'm putting these big old dookie twists in my hair, right? I'm moisturizing. I'm doing my skincare routine. I done took out my contacts. Like, I'm just taking my dear sweet time, right? So I leave out, obviously, because in my mind, there was no need for me to rush. So, and I think at this time it probably was like 8:30 or something like that. So I leave. So, you know, I leave out the bathroom. I'm, like I said, I look crazy. Like, skin is cool because, like, you know, skincare routine, flawless. Skin got me popping, and I'm nice and tan. So, like, I know my face was fine, but like I said, I had put these big old dookie twists in my hair. I had on an oversized t-shirt or whatever. And I had grabbed my apple juice or whatever. So I go back out to the balcony and I look over and I noticed that he had pushed the 2 lounge chairs together because it was like a little side table in between the 2. So he had pushed the 2 lounge chairs together and he had moved the side table out of the way and pushed the 2 lounge chairs together, and then and had put the blanket, because the blanket had came when I was in the, you know, while I was in the shower or whatever. So he had put the blanket down on the lounge chair, so it literally looked like an outdoor bed or whatever. But I could see that he wasn't like lounging, but when I walked out, before I even walked out, because I would have been able to see his head over the back of the lounge chair or whatever, but I didn't see him. So I walk out and I know he wasn't in the room, even though he had turned on the TV. I'm like, he not in the room, so where's he at? So I look to the left and he's not on the lounge chair. I look to the right and he is like sitting on the ledge of, it's like a little like bench kind of on the balcony or whatever. He's sitting there and he's not on the phone or anything. And I'm like, me being me, fuck you doing, meditating? And he like, no, right? So he don't say nothing. So I'm like, you want some apple juice? He like, no. I just be in my own little world. So then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, he seemed to be, you know, doing just fine over there. I know I'm about to get cold, so I'm about to get underneath this cover. He done set this little bed up. He must have been waiting for me to get in or whatever, right? So I look back over to the lounge chair. Now, mind you, it's like 8:30 at night. Now, the only light that's on the balcony is literally coming from the moon. So it's dark. So so I look back over to the lounge chair, and it's a pillow on the lounge chairs, and it's a dark pillow. So I didn't really see it at first, even though it was sitting on top of a white ass blanket. I just didn't really pay it no mind. But what was on top of this brown pillow was a ring box, and it was open. And so when I saw that it was a ring there, I was like, oh shit. Well, I ain't say it like that. I was like, oh shit. And then that's when he stood up and he came over to me, gave me a hug or whatever, and said his speech. Now, I don't know, I don't feel bad, and y'all not gonna make me feel bad for saying this, but when you're in that moment, and like, if you've been proposed to, if you're married, if you're engaged or whatever, when you're in that moment and your person is giving you that speech, telling you how much they love you and how they want to be with you or whatever, you don't retain that, because it's like, in your mind, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. And it's like, so I honestly don't remember what he said. And obviously I wasn't, like, we weren't recording it or anything, because I am the one that records everything, not him. So obviously we weren't, like, it wasn't being recorded, it wasn't filmed or anything like that. So I honestly don't remember what he said. I just remember something about forever, and he loved me, and something about forever. And then that's when, that's when he sat down on the lounge chair, and I was still standing up, and he put the ring on my finger or whatever. And of course I said, I do. And low key, because we was in Mexico, well, I didn't say I do, because clearly we didn't get married. I said, of course. But me being me, in my mind, I really wanted to say, of course, in Spanish, which is claro. But I was like, I had to like switch my brain real quick. And I was like, of course, or whatever. But it was so perfect. It was so perfect. So then, after that, we both got in the lounge chair, and then we just kind of spent the night outside on the balcony. Well, that was the plan, to actually spend the night, like the whole entire night, like to sleep on the balcony. But shit, it got cold. So I hung in there until about 12:30. Then I got my ass up and took it to the room. He was like, he gonna wake up and roll over talking about where you going. And nigga, in the room, it's cold. The fuck? So he hung in there for a little bit longer. And then that's when he came back. He came in the room like 5:30, talk about it's cold. I'm like, you might as well have stayed your ass out there. Like, it's about to heat back up in another hour. So, but yeah, so that happened. So that was kind of how I concluded, my vacation. Even though that was Friday, I went through Friday and Saturday, and well, not through Friday, because that happened Friday night, but I went through Saturday and Sunday of my trip engaged. So there we have it. And okay, so let me just speak on this real quick. Corey and I had talked about getting married like last year. I'm not like overly like, I gotta be married, or I'm okay with having a kid out of wedlock. Like, if you know me, you should know me well enough now that I'm just not super traditional or whatever. But we talked about it last year, and said that we were gonna get married May 30th of 2020, because it would be 5 years to the day that we met. Now, we met, like I said, in 2015. We met in 2015. And we started seriously dating in 2017. So we've been dating monogamously for 3 years. And so back in February, we talked about it again, and I was like, I ain't really ready. Like, I don't have commitment issues, but I feel like if things are fine, we don't need to change them. Like, I'm not, like I said, I would have never been that girlfriend that would have been like, okay, nigga, like, we've been together for 5 years. Like, it's time for you to put a ring on it, or, ultimatum. And I'm just not that person. Like, I just am happy. I just was happy that I found my best friend. And my goal, because I still do not want a wedding. If you are listening, if you can hear me, please do not ask me when's the wedding date, because we are not having a wedding, okay? If you can hear me out there, we're not having a wedding, okay? I've never been that person, and it's not really about the attention, even though, we all know I don't really like attention, but it's just the thought of, like, first of all, the thought of going through, like, all of these wedding dresses give me anxiety. Like, it's so many gorgeous wedding dresses out there that I feel like would look amazing on me. So, like, the thought of picking out a wedding dress does not sound fun to me. It sounds like an anxiety-fulfilled experience, because I would be like, is this the right one? Oh, my God. And then, like, the wedding would pass, and I would be looking at the pictures thinking I look all pretty. And, like, really feeling like I look pretty, but then would see a different wedding dress, like, damn, I should have got married in that. And you can give me all that. If it's the one, it's the one, it's the one. When you know bullshit. I don't care. That's not the only reason why I don't want to wedding. Like, just the thought of, like, putting on this full production for a group of people who really don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, they give a fuck, like, they happy for you or whatever, but, like, I have to be the one, or we have to be the one dishing out all of this money to appease this crowd of people for these 10-minute nuptials and this 2-hour party. Like, how much? I don't know how much a wedding costs, like the wedding license is, but let's just say it's $150. I'd rather take that $150 to the courthouse, say our I do's, and then book it for a 2-week vacation. Like, that's what I want to spend my money on. And fortunately, like I said, I have my person, so he is in agreement. Like, I'm sorry, I've never been that person, like, that has desired, like, growing up, I didn't dream about being a mom, and I didn't dream about having a wedding. Like, I've always been content with being by myself. Even though I'm alone, I'm never lonely. So the fact that I have a best friend who understands that, and who can accommodate, like, not accommodate, but, like, who compliments me in a way that, like, doesn't make me feel like, damn, I'd rather be alone. You know what I mean? Like, because low-key, I've always felt like that. I've always felt like, what if I don't find that person that understands that I be needing that alone time? And I always said to myself that if I got out of a relationship, it would never be for infidelity or, anything like that. Like, if I got out of a relationship, say if the guy was happy or whatever, it would be like, I'd much rather be by myself because you are stressing me the fuck out. And fortunately, I don't have that in my person. Like, he don't stress me out, and I don't feel like I'd rather not have him and just be by myself. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I'm just blessed that we just align in so many facets of our life, where, like, I mean, even down to going to church, like, yes, he grew up in the church and so did I. But as I got older and I started questioning religion and how that really aligned with me, and, spirituality versus religion. And, I believe in a higher power. I believe that God is love, and I believe that we should all love everybody. But I don't put a title on God. Like, I don't put a title on the person. May he or she be black or white, whether you call him Allah or Buddha or, whatever. Like, I just don't put a title, or I don't label it. Like, I just believe that everybody should do good and everybody should be good, and we should all love each other. And I believe in peace, and I believe in good versus evil. You know what I mean? Like, so even when it comes down to that, like, even if he believes in God and whatever, because I mean, I pray, but I don't necessarily pray to, like, one person. I just be praying, like, whoever is out there, I'm more of a agnostic, which is somebody who believes there is a higher power, but they also, like, I believe in science and I believe in religion, if that makes sense. Like, I don't not believe, I just don't believe in one thing. And so, like, we are like, we even align in that aspect of it. Like, if he prays to God, I like, by all means. Like, if he was Muslim, I would not have a problem with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, we just align on so many avenues that, like, I'm just really fortunate to have like that person or whatever. So I am like really excited about, you know, now this new chapter. Even though we don't like plan on having a wedding or anything like that, I'm still excited about like the transition that we're going through together as a couple and now as a family or whatever. And so before, you know, we had you know, talks about getting married on May 30th, 2020, because that was 5 days to the year that we met. It's like, now we don't necessarily have a set date. Now it's like, we are in the process of looking for a house. We have been looking for a house since the summertime. And so because he is a government employee and his health insurance is much better than mine, because I am only a government contract or federal contractor or whatever. Like, now it's like, it's really not a date to it. It's like, as soon as we buy this house, we gonna get married whenever that date is. It's like, as soon as we buy the house, then that's when we gonna get married. But we're definitely gonna get married before the baby comes, because I need to get on that insurance. Not because I'm trying to worry about having a baby out of wedlock and all that. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, we can have 8 kids and still not be married. Well, that's a bit excessive, but I don't carry those traditional thoughts. I really don't care about that. But yeah, so that is the update on another transition that I'm going through and that I'm experiencing and that I'm excited about or whatever. And no, that still is not public. It's not public, but it's also, and that's more so just because I'm just not looking forward to the when's the wedding. All the when's the wedding questions. I'm not looking forward to that, because I don't want to have to go through explaining that to everybody in a DM or whatever. Like, that is so annoying. And I'm not one to explain, but it's like, after a while, like, you gotta say something, right? I gotta be like, ain't no wedding or whatever. But then for people who like don't understand that I don't want a wedding, they be like, oh, why? And you need, and you should, and you be like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, and I'm so nice to everybody, but after a while, you really do just be wanting to be like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? I don't have to have a wedding. Like, but yeah, so yeah, that's what's new in the neighborhood. That I'm like, you know, 2021 is gonna be like a big transitional year for the kid. Like, no pun intended when I say for the kid, but it's definitely gonna be a big transitional year. And I'm looking forward to all that it has to offer us, because it's not just me. I'm looking forward to all it has to offer us or whatever. But yeah, I also wanted to, this episode was more about, I actually have 10 minutes because I have yoga in 10 minutes. But I mean, I guess I can go over a little bit. I have my computer right beside me, so I'm not gonna log in late. Even if I am late to yoga, I'm not gonna log in late. I'm definitely gonna log in on time or whatever. And I know that all we're doing are just mad sun salutations, so I really can just jump in at any time. We're literally just doing sun salutations like over and over on some New Year's Eve shit. So but yeah, I got 10 minutes. But so this episode was really based around just how my pregnancy has been thus far, and like, you know, the physicalities that I've been experiencing and that kind of stuff. So again, I found out when I was 5 weeks. I found out at 5 weeks or whatever, and I knew before taking the test that I was pregnant because of my pending period that I knew was not about to show up, and it did not. And so almost immediately after immediately after me taking the test and confirming that I was pregnant or whatever, my boobs started growing immediately. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, this is a piece of pregnancy that I ain't mad at all. And so that has been, nice to have, a little additional cleavage or whatever. I did not get sick. I did not get nauseous. Again, I think I said this before. I only got nauseous one time when I took my prenatal vitamin on an empty stomach. And I was also kind of navigating through prenatal vitamins. I honestly had only tried one that I had got from Mom's organic market or whatever. And then I had actually that's when I switched to Rainbow Light. I like the brand, so I take Rainbow Light now. Rainbow Light is the brand, and I'm familiar with Rainbow Light because I actually used to take prenatal vitamins like years ago when I was, that whole trying to get your hair to grow and all that bullshit or whatever. Until I learned about how, like, if you take prenatal vitamins and you're not expecting, how, like, you can get, like, a vitamin buildup and shit like that. So I stopped taking prenatal vitamins. But, and this was, like, years ago or whatever. But I, was familiar with Rainbow Light because I used to take, like, these, counterattack vitamins. Basically, like, when you feel like you're about to get sick, you like take them. I think you could take like up to 4 a day, and it prevents you from getting sick, and they really work. But and I used to find them in like Whole Foods and like on Amazon and stuff like that. But then I stopped being able to find them as much. So now I take the Rainbow Light prenatal vitamin, and I also take black seed oil. I've been taking black seed oil, the gel capsules for about a year and a half now. Shout out to my homie Ron Bass or whatever. He put me on to black seed oil back when, because I had allergies really badly, and during allergy season or whatever, and if I was traveling or whatever, I used to pop a Zyrtec religiously or whatever. So he put me on the black seed oil, and that actually almost wholly subsided my allergies. Like, I still have allergies, but the black seed helps a lot. And they're like really good for your immune system and just stuff like that. So I've always taken black seed, but I haven't stopped now that I'm pregnant, especially because pregnancy weighs on your immune system. So I take 2 black seed capsules every day along with my prenatal vitamin or whatever. I experienced extreme fatigueness in the beginning. I was always sleepy. I was always tired. I felt lazy. I took naps. That was something that I never did, but I took naps all the time. I didn't have any energy to do yoga in the first trimester. And this is all speaking first trimester wise. I didn't have any energy to do yoga, so I didn't. Now that I am in my second trimester, and it didn't take for me to get fully into my second trimester, but I want to say at about between like 8 to 10 weeks, something like that, I started getting my energy back. In the beginning, my mouth tasted disgusting, very nasty. I don't know where that came from. Nobody told me that, and it wasn't a vitamin deficiency. I know I spoke on that last episode or whatever. I lost a lot of weight. I lost about 13 pounds when I first found out. And it's so crazy because my mouth tasted bad all day in the beginning, and then it went from tasting bad all day to only tasting bad between like 5 and 8 in the evening or whatever. And so now I don't deal with that anymore, but my gums do bleed when I brush my teeth now, which is very weird. And like, I do read like the weekly what to expect with every week that I get further along or whatever, and it's so weird to me just how spot on that shit is. Like, cause like now that I'm in week 17, it was like it said like how your gums bleed when you brush your teeth or whatever, and I like my gums never bled when I brush my teeth, and now they do. And sometimes my mouth actually tastes like blood, which is weird to me, but it's not super bad. But that is just, I mean, it's just weird. I haven't had any real food cravings. Like, no real food cravings. Like, I don't crave dirt or like no shit like that. But there are things that I eat that like I do want all the time. So like popsicles, I eat popsicles almost every day. And there's a specific kind of popsicle. Like, obviously they're like all natural, like only fruit. They're literally just fruit popsicles with like no added sugar and shit like that. But I eat a popsicle every day. I've always liked spicy food before, but this baby has definitely kicked up my spicy food intake a whole lot. So like greens with a lot of hot sauce on it, oh my god, they be so good. More in particular from New Vegan got the best fucking greens. I don't give a fuck. Like, New Vegan greens be so good with like a whole bunch of hot sauce. But I pretty much put hot sauce on anything savory these days. Any and everything savory, I pretty much put hot sauce on. I do see why people like why pregnant women like pickles. I am on my second jar of pickles since my pregnancy. Now, I don't like crave them, but like seeing them in the refrigerator is very comforting. So I do eat pickles. Like, if I have a taste for a Beyond Burger or like a vegan hot dog or something like that, I will definitely have a pickle with it. And then just like eating a pickle as like a little snack or whatever. Pickles do be good. It's something about like that saltiness / vinegar taste that like is very refreshing in a pregnant woman's mouth. Pause. What else? Oh my god, I had my first cup of coffee. And I'm not much of a coffee drinker. But I'm more so like, I like iced coffee and like lattes and shit. But it's like more so for me, it's like if I have a taste for it and not necessarily like if I need like energy or like a caffeine boost. I just like to drink coffee, iced coffee, or like frozen coffee if I have a taste for it. So I had Panera one morning because I was just so tired of making breakfast. That I went to Panera one morning and I was like, I'm gonna get me a like an iced latte or an iced coffee or something like that. Girl, let me tell you. And I got a decaf too because I don't be needing the caffeine. That shit fucked me the fuck up. And I'm so mad because it tasted so good. And it was a you know, I had to like customize that shit. So it was like one pump of vanilla with like a pump of caramel and like super light caramel drizzle with no whipped cream and almond milk, and it was decaf, and it just tasted so good. But Lil Nuggy was not agreeing with that. By the way, my baby's nickname is Nuggy. He's probably gonna have that nickname for a lifetime because when I first found out, it was still very surreal to me. And so I didn't know what to call it. I didn't want to call it my baby. I didn't want to call it, I don't know. I wasn't connecting just yet. Well, I don't want to say connected. It just was like, there's this thing in my stomach and something is happening and it's a little nugget in there growing. And so it started out as Nugget, and then I want to say Corey progressed it to Nuggy or whatever. So we always call the baby Nuggy. But don't go around saying that because then y'all gonna wear it out and it's just like, it'd be too much. Like, I already had to ask my mom to chill because everything I post on my story, anytime, like, everything is like, oh, baby this and baby that and baby this and baby that. And like, we have a name for him or whatever. And like, she knows the name. And again, that's not necessarily a secret, but I mean, I ain't overly ready to put it out there like that either. But she just keeps saying his name. And then I'm like, Mom, like, I know, I get that you're excited and I love it and I respect it and I'm happy about it, but like, you gotta relax. You are overwhelming the fuck out of me right now. Like, I'm still taking it in. Like, please. Like, you are wearing this thing out. Like, I'm still me. I'm still here, whatever. But I don't like for people to like run shit super dry all the time. Like, can we just have it for a moment, please, and like be okay? But yeah, so Nuggy was not fucking with the coffee. Body pillow, oh my god, I got a body pillow like literally the first week of like me finding out or whatever, and that shit has dead ass been the best purchase I've ever made, like in general. Like I would have gotten a body pillow prior to pregnancy had I known that it was like so much love surrounding a body pillow, because that shit is like everything. Other things that I eat all the time, Blaze pizza. I mean, I can tell y'all my order, but y'all might get sick of it because I put my order on the internet all the time. So many people like, I screenshot this. I'm like, as you should, because this is probably the best order that you will ever have at Blaze if you go to Blaze or whatever. And eggs. I eat eggs literally every day. Every day for breakfast, I eat eggs. Like, fried, hard, please. No runny yolk. Do not runny yolk me. I will, oh my God, gross. Fried eggs over hard. Scrambled. Omelet. Yeah, that pretty much one of those three ways. Like, I eat eggs every day. I love eggs. Eggs be good as shit. And that's like, those are pretty much like my go-to things in regards to like, you know, this whole pregnancy thing or whatever. But the hardest part about this so far has just been like, you know, being pregnant during COVID is like, will he be able to go to the hospital or not to the hospital? Because I don't know if I said that before, but I definitely do not want a hospital birth. I would like to give birth in the house. I would like to have a natural water birth at home in my brand new home when that comes. I would, or if I can't give birth at home, I would like to give birth at a birthing center. But I really don't want to give birth at a hospital. And that's not even because of COVID. That's legitimately just because I don't want to go to a hospital. Like, that's not really my thing. And I would like a doula and a midwife, but I do need to do my research on that. And I haven't done my research on anything yet. Like, again, so many people was like, let me know when you have your registry. I'm like, I don't even know where to start with that shit. Like, I don't even know what's supposed to be on the registry. And that's another reason why I don't want to have a baby shower, because so many people already, family-wise, beyond friends and like people that I don't even know, family, as soon as they find out, they just want to buy. I'm like, no. And obviously you cannot stop that. Like, you just cannot stop you can't stop that from happening. But I don't want a baby shower because I don't want gifts. Like, I don't want a whole bunch of stuff. Like, first of all, I'm a first time parent. I don't even know what all is a necessity and what is just gonna be excess shit just piling up in the crib or whatever. So we're taking the approach of like buying the things that we know we're gonna need in the beginning, like obviously a stroller and a car seat and like things like that, right? But like everything else, like once we figure out the bare minimum that we will need to have this baby and to bring him home and for him to successfully, you know, grow up or whatever, once we find out what the bare minimum is and we purchase the bare minimum, then we just gonna buy as we go. Like, if we feel like later on, when he like, I don't know, 8 weeks, and and I do realize I need a bottle warmer or some shit like that, then that's when I'm gonna get it. But like, in the beginning, I'm not trying to get all that extra shit. Like, I'm just not trying to have all this extra stuff. So I don't want a baby shower because I don't want to have all this extra stuff. I do low-key kind of have like, I kind of have control issues. So, and even though you can control what you receive to a certain extent, like by way of like putting certain things on the registry, but for one, I know I want like some expensive stuff, and I don't want anybody to feel obligated to have to buy that. Like, I like we have a savings fund for certain things. And okay, so I realized that, like, I don't necessarily want to take away these certain joys in life from the people who are happy for me, from my friends, from my family. I've already said I don't want a wedding. I've already said I don't want a baby shower. But in that regard, I do want to give people something for them to, help us celebrate. So I don't know, maybe if it's like just like a small brunch, and that is to recognize like the nuptials and the baby, and I mean a housewarming all in one. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't even really want housewarming gifts. Like I didn't say this on the podcast because I was on my little hiatus, but I was back on Instagram and I was like, shit, for Black Friday, I was already buying the appliances that I've been really wanting for the new house. I got that shit, and it's just been sitting in their boxes like unopened. So like, I feel like by the time we get into a house, we ain't gonna have nothing on the list for a housewarming, because I done already bought half the shit. But I do want to give my people like that, at least that aspect of like, celebrating or whatever. I don't want to rob them of that, but I still don't want no gifts. Like, the only thing I'm really trying to welcome are books for the baby, and money, like for a baby fund or whatever. And the money would not be coming to us unless we needed it for an emergency as it pertains to the baby. But otherwise, it would go straight to his fund or whatever. So yeah, that's the update on me this week. It's New Year's Eve. So when you hear this, Happy New Year. I hope 2021 is as the complete opposite of 2020. I mean, we're literally going into 2021 continuing. What am I trying to say? We're going into 2021 still in a pandemic, if not all over again, because this is the second wave and shit has just closed all over again. If you are watching this, I am in a hotel. I am in the W Hotel in Washington, D.C. I'm spending the night here. So every year, my vacations normally extend throughout New Year's, or throughout New Year's. So like so normally I wouldn't leave for my Christmas vacation so early. I would leave probably like the day before or something like that. And then I can't really remember how I do it, but normally my Christmas vacations are, this yoga class ain't till 6 and I'm logging on all early. Look at me. I'm just so pressed. So I'm in DC. We don't really, obviously everything is closed. Like, there's no indoor dining or whatever. I'm actually really hungry right now. We have dinner reservations at 8, which I kinda am not, like, I want to get pretty and I want to get dressed and that kind of thing, but also it's like on the rooftop of the W and it's outdoor, and even though they said you're protected from the elements, but it's still outdoor, it's like the menu is it's like a pre-made menu, and it's $95 a person, and neither one of us drink. Obviously I don't drink because I'm pregnant, but I mean, even still, like, I don't really drink like that anyway. I would have been high as shit tonight, but last year we was in Fort Lauderdale. The year before that, I don't remember, but I don't like to spend New Year's Eve in the house per se. Oh, the year before that, I actually was in DC. But I just don't like to spend New Year's Eve in the house. I like to at least be in like a little hotel or something. So tonight we're just having a little staycation. We're in the W or whatever, and we're supposed to go to the rooftop, but we can cancel the reservation if I really don't feel like it. And I know he's gonna be down with that because that's $200. Like, and we could just order $200 worth of food from a Hamilton and live it the fuck up, right? So maybe I'll just get dressed and do that. Like, we'll just be in here and we'll just eat mad good, because that's all I really want to do is eat, and I'm not really trying to be cold. So that's just that on that. Anyway, thank you so much, close friends, for pulling up on me. Again, I really fuck with y'all. And I really fuck with y'all for fucking with me. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching, thank you so much for fucking with me. I really appreciate y'all. I don't know how many times I can say that. I can't stress that enough. Like, I really don't have I couldn't ask for a better internet community. Until next time, I holla.